So, I have been challenged by Pac-Man Case, aka Andrew. It's Andy. I always feel weird saying Andy, even though that's like my name too. I feel weird. Anywho, he challenged me to do my top 10 games of all time. And you know what I have to say about that? Challenge accepted. I don't know why I'm being so dramatic about it. But yeah, of course I'm going to do it. So, this is going to be my top 10 games of all time. These aren't all 90s games. I know that's my channel. 90s are rad. Not all 90s games. Not a lot of new games. It's like a decent mix. So, let's go ahead and let's just jump right into it. Starting with number 10, it might be like, really? This is in your top 10 games of all time? Yes. Yes, they are. It's a three-way tie between Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone for PC/Mac, Guitar Hero 2, and Rock Band 2. You're probably like, I'm gonna click off, like, right now. Like, you are ridiculous. Let me explain before you click away, before you click that dislike button that no one else can see but me, hurting my feelings. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for the PC/Mac is a really, really fun game. It's very, very good. Like, I know people are like, oh, it's a game based off a book and a movie. How is it any good? Trust me, it's actually very, very good. It follows more closely to the book story-wise. Obviously, it's a game, so they had to add some stuff, but kind of the backstory to these two. When I was like 9, 10, I don't know, when Harry Potter was out, I went up to New Jersey with my older brother and my sister, and we're staying at my aunt and uncle's. My uncle and my older brother got Return to Castle Wolfenstein for the Mac, and they're like, it's gonna be a little too advanced for you, so let's, my ear itches. Let's pick out a game that's gonna be more your level. I'm like, alright, cool. And I saw Harry Potter. I was kind of obsessed with Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah, let me get that. Fell in love with it. It's a great game. Like, seriously, very underrated. It controls pretty well. If you do have, or if you plan on getting like the PS1 version, not the same. I'm not sure about the PS2 and GameCube. I'm not sure. It's very confusing. They're all developed or published by EA, but made by different people, from my understanding. But if you're gonna get one of them, I'd recommend the PC and Mac version. Fantastic. Guitar Hero 2 and Rock Band 2, these are just games I played all the time with my friends. Guitar Hero 2 is kind of what got me into rhythm games, kind of. I was never into DDR or anything like that. But we would just sit and play Rock Band, or not Rock Band, we would play Guitar Hero 2 for hours and hours and hours, and I still do. I play it all the time. And Rock Band 2, it was just kind of the same thing. It was just a continuation of that, just with a different friend of mine, my friend Charlie. When Rock Band 2 first came out, day one, he bought it. I came over and we played through the whole thing in one night, and it was a blast. It's not a game I play often anymore, but it's same thing with Guitar Hero 2. I still play it a lot, and I love it. I love these games, and that's why they are number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Contra, the Alien Wars. No, not the Super Nintendo one, which is great. The Game Boy one. The Game Boy one was one of my first Game Boy games. It was that, and I had Pokemon Red and Blue. We had those pretty much at the same time, so those were like the three main games that I played. Contra Alien Wars is great. It's very similar to the one on Super Nintendo. It just runs a little bit slower, which you're like, that might be a bad thing, but for me, I think it's like the perfect speed. It's great, the music is fantastic, and it's just fun. It's very, very fun. A lot of people don't realize that they made a port of Contra 3 Alien Wars for Game Boy. If you didn't know, now you know. It's fantastic. I love it. Highly recommend you guys play it. Coming in at number 8, we have Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. The Siphon Filter games are fantastic. I feel like they've very, very underrated. I don't feel like people really appreciate them too much. Like the Omega Strain on PS1, so good, so good. So I'm also talking about Siphon Filter Dark Mirror for the PSP, which was also ported to PS2. I played the PS2 one a little bit. I think I like the PS1 or the PSP version a little bit more, only because I like the controls of it a little bit more. It's just what I'm used to. It's a great game. Great game. I love the story in it. It's a good mix of action and stealth. It's fantastic. My uncle and I, we used to play it all the time. We would play ad hoc mode, and we would play online. So much fun. I spent hours and hours and hours glued to my PSP playing this game. Coming in at number 7, we have Streets of Rage. I love this game. This game is honestly just so good. So good. I know a lot of people like the second one more. For me, I don't know if it's just because I've played more of Streets of Rage 1, but I tend to like that one a little bit more. Like, I'm to the point to where I can basically most times get to the last level by myself, which I think is pretty impressive. But the music in it is great. I've gotten very, very close with one of my friends to beating it. We got to like the last boss and we died. Had no more continues and it was awful. But it's such a good game. The music, the combat, the music, just that feeling. It's like, ooh, baby. I love it. I absolutely love it. Coming in at number 6, we have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 and Tony Hawk's Underground 1. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 is amazing. Like, I know a lot of people are like, the first 3 are the best, which, yeah, they're fantastic. They're classics. I love them. But Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, I just love so much. Like, I don't think it was the same summer as when I got the Harry Potter game. I think it was after that, maybe. Pretty sure it was after that. Whenever it came out, in New Jersey, that's what we did. That's what my uncle, my older brother, and myself did. We just did that, and we skated, and we played with tactics, and it was amazing. I love it. And then Thug came out, and I fell in love with that even more. Just having that story to go with it, I was like, this is perfect. I know a lot of people like Thug 2, which is great. I do like it. I think I like the remix one on PSP a little bit more. But just these 2 games, I can seriously play for hours. Anybody challenges me in this, like, in person, I will wreck them. I will wreck them. Maybe. Now into my top 5, which was very, very easy to make. Number 10 through 6 was a little bit harder, because I was like, how do I just kept thinking of games. I'm like, is that my favorite? No. Is that one of my favorites? Is that in my top 10? No. But this top 5 is my top 5. There might be some obvious choices, but they're just great games. Arguably, some of the best games of all time. In my opinion. Starting at number 5, we have Pocky and Rocky for the good old Super Nintendo. This game, I love. I love it. It's so hard. That's what she said. But it's fantastic. Fantastic. The music, the graphics, just the gameplay is so much fun. So much fun. Very hard. Again, that's what she said. But it's great. This is one of those games where, I saw it on Game Chasers, and then I went to the flea market, and someone was selling it, close to what it was going for, but it was cheaper. And I was like, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll try it out, Fell in love with it. Instantly fell in love with it. Again, the music, the graphics. People describe it as a cute-em-up, because it's like a cute shoot-em-up, and I get that. Such a hard game. I spent probably like 11 hours straight just playing it. Now, obviously I took some breaks, but I eventually did beat it. Have not been able to beat it since. It's such a great game. If you've never played it, it's relatively expensive. I think it goes anywhere, I've seen it sell for anywhere between 100 to 200. kind of a big gap, but if you have other ways of playing retro games, I would definitely check it out. Coming in at number 4, we have Super Mario 64. This, to me, is one of the best Mario games of all time. I know people are like, 3 is the best Mario game of all time, which I love 3. 3 is great. But Super Mario 64, there's just something about it. Like, I absolutely love it. Again, the levels, the gameplay, it still looks fantastic today. Also, the music. The music is so iconic and so... I love it. Like, I seriously can play this game over and over and over again. And I do play it over and over and over again. Like, it's just one of those games where if I ever sold all my games, Super Mario 64 and a couple other games would be the only games that I would have to keep. I would have to. So, number 4 on my list, Super Mario 64. Never played it. Do yourself, I almost said do yourself a flavor. Do yourself a favor and play it. Coming in at number 3, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game, this is a game. I love it. I know a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, I know some people that are like, it's not like a true Zelda game. I would have to disagree. I think this was the next step in the Zelda future. I don't know if that makes sense. But this was like the next step to advance Zelda. It's being able to explore Hyrule and do all this in just this amazing open world setting. And it worked out fantastic. I love the music. It's very atmospheric. It's just like very light, very relaxing. Like, this game is both relaxing and stressful at the same time. But it's so good. Like, the music, mwah, chef's kiss. It's great. It's so good. Just the gameplay, it can get very, very hard. Like, I think the Lynels are harder than Ganon and the Divine Beast. Like, those dudes. Oh, and they're just all over the place. And it's just like all the little side missions. I put over 300 hours into this game, and I'm still playing it, and I'm still exploring and finding new things. Like, that's how great this game is. Also, again, the music. If you're having a hard time sleeping, fine. I'll try to have it linked below, but there's playlists of just the music from this game. Listen to it. Super calming, super relaxing. You'll love it. You know, I came all this way. We're at number 2, and I have not mentioned a single Pokemon game until now. Number 2, Pokemon Crystal. To me, out of all the OG Pokemon games, this is number 1. This is the best of the best, cream of the crop. Oh god, I'm dying. Probably like, what's the difference? Like, well, it's all the games are basically the same. Wrong. Pokemon Crystal took everything that made Pokemon great and just added just a touch more to make it that much better. Like, for example, you walk into a town and it tells you what town you're in. Like, thank you. Like, none of the other games did it. And also, by the way, it's the only, like, Pokemon main series game for the Game Boy Color. You can't play Pokemon Crystal on a DMG or a Game Boy Pocket. But this game is so good. The story is slightly different. So the gameplay is your typical, 8-bit Pokemon gameplay. It's great. I love it. But you also have the stories of Suicune and legendary dogs. It's so good. So good. It's just one of those games that, like I said, I just like more than other Pokemon games. But it's very hard to explain why. Alright, coming in at number 1. Might be a very obvious choice. If you know me, you already know what it is. I'm not gonna beat around the bush anymore. I'm like, hiya! Did that give it away? It's Ocarina of Time, people. Ocarina of Time was one of the very first games that I truly fell in love with. Back in the day, I was a very casual gamer. Like, when N64 came out, and PS1, and all that, like, I had a Super Nintendo, I had a Genesis, NES. I was a very casual gamer, which is another reason why I really liked the Pokemon games so much. It wasn't, like, this insane, like, grind-heavy RPG. Then we got the N64, which really kind of cemented, like, oh, I really like these games. Like, that's why I like, Mario 64 so much. That was, like, one of the first games that really got me, like, hooked. And then Ocarina of Time came out, and we got it. Instantly fell in love. The music, the gameplay, just how big the world was. Now, the world's actually not that big, but at the time, this was, like, mind-blowing. Like, Breath of the Wild, like, the map of Breath of the Wild is how I used to think Ocarina of Time was. I was like, it's this massive, open world, and it wasn't really very open, but it was just this massive world that you could explore and do stuff in and find stuff in, and I loved it. And the story has time travel, and I love it. The gameplay is great. Sure, the graphics might be a little bit muddy. Sure, the water temple is harder than it probably should be. I wouldn't say it's hard, it's just more a pain in the ass, because there's a lot of back and forth. You have to do one thing, then do another, then go back to doing something else. Which, it's not my favorite, but it's just so good. The music is fantastic. Just the feeling it gives you when you play it, at least the feeling it gives me, it's just awesome. Like, I just fell in love with it, and the story, and the characters. Like, the Gorons. Like, I fell in love with the Gorons. It, just Death Mountain, like, was terrifying. Fighting the zombies after, you pull the sword out when it's 7 years in the future. And, the town is just destroyed. And there's those zombies. Those were terrifying. This game just captured something. And I don't think, and I haven't felt the same feeling that I get when I play Ocarina of Time. Even to this day. Even on the 3DS, or on, like, the Virtual Console. I still love it. It's fantastic. If you've never played it, please do yourself a favor. Play it. I know there's some issues with Switch Online, but if that's the only way you can play it, it's great. It's great. I love it. It's awesome. So that's it. That's my top 10 games of all time. Like I said, 6 through 10 was a little bit harder for me, but my top 5 was gonna be my top 5 for a very, very long time. So let me know in the comments down below, what is your top 10 games of all time? And also, I didn't call out some people, because I'm not gonna be the only one getting called out. Come on. Who am I gonna call out though? Let's see. Brandy, if you've never done this, do it. What's your top 10 games? Also, she has an awesome channel. I'm very jealous of her N64 collection. It's mind-blowing. It's amazing. Again, if you haven't done it, Brandy, no, do it. It'd be cool. I would definitely like to see what your top 10 games of all time are. Next up, we have The Collective Gaming. He puts out some great videos. He's almost at 1,000 subscribers, so definitely check him out. Check out his videos. I'm gonna call you out, man. Let me know what your top 10 games of all time are. Make a video. Do it. Who else? I don't know. Rick? Retro Rick? Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? I know you're a busy dude. You probably don't have time to do it, but if you do, I'd definitely like to know what your top 10 games of all time are. Thank you guys for watching. You guys rock. Stay rad. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.